I like this character. I'm killing people.
I died. I died.
Damn, the interviewer stinks.
God, hello, it's Mel. It's me back with another interview. This time with Kid Mango and also a mustache and beard kind of thing because the head of my razor broke off and despite my best efforts cannot be reattached. Me and Kid Mango played a game of Risk of Rain, a game in which I am actually experienced with. The first time an interviewee has had me play a game that I'm good at, and in this game that was recorded, I hit a record number of deaths. So there's that. The only evidence of my playing ability is this. But anyways, me and Kid Mango talked about his creative process, the producers he's worked with, the transition to self-producing, and the projects he's working on and has coming up. It was a really fun interview. Mango is a blast to talk to, incredibly funny, he's something. Enjoy the interview. But to start things off, you know, you've been making music for quite a long time now, a couple years, and over the time you've developed a pretty unique and sound that's individual to you. So where would you say, or I guess, what would be the music that initially first got you into it? You know, like what were you listening to that made you think, you know what, I want to do this. I want to make music.
Okay, so I can give you the exact moment where I knew. I was like, yeah, I gotta make music.
the exact day.
Yeah. Okay. So, or not the exact day, but like around the time frame. It was sometime in 2017. I was like, I just finished high school, so I didn't really have much to like do, right? And I didn't even know what the fuck I wanted to do. At first, I wanted to be a game designer or like make games of just any form, maybe art, and like just help in the process. Then I was like, damn, I can't draw. I can't do code. I stink, right? Like all that bullshit. And then this little known album, kind of indie, came out called 17. That shit came out, and I was chilling with my friend Khalil. And we were just listening to that shit together, and I was like, yo, I fucking love this project. And at the time, like, all I listened to was, like, Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator. So when I heard 17, and it was, at the time, I thought he was a new artist, kind of, right? I didn't really know his whole little pack. And I was just telling him, I was like, bro, I fucking love music. And we just kept on just talking about it nonstop, right? And he gave me the idea of like, or he didn't even give me the idea, but like he just kept on hyping up music to me. So I like naturally was like, you know what, fuck it. I want to work on music. Like that's what I want to do. Cause it was just always like me and him would talk about albums all the time. I remember we have like essays in our DMs to this day talking about music we like. So and then I went to school or like a trade school for audio engineering in North Carolina. And that shit was pretty gas. I didn't do shit with that for the longest.
I mean, yeah, but like it at the very least, like I'm guessing it gave you like a pretty good place to start off in terms of making music.
Oh hell yeah! I was an ass student though. Like, I stunk.
And so like since then, over that time, like since starting out music, what would you like say apart from 17, like? Was that the sound that you were initially kind of trying to go for, or is that something that just kind of got you into music, but you looked to other places for like inspiration in terms of what your music would sound like?
When I first started really getting into like making my own music, it was most definitely heavily based off the old, like it was based off 17, some like really old Wi-Fi, because that's like what my homie loved. Like he loved listening to old Wi-Fi. So I just constantly hear it. Then I was like, well, I love the way this man does his hooks. And his flows are always like punchy and catchy. Like I can't think of like one really shitty Wi-Fi flow. So those were like the two things I would really lean towards. And as I like, you know, started getting more and more into making music, it started leaning towards like kind of trippy. Let me think. Trippy and that's about it. Like trippy, then maybe Koshi now, but like at that time it was really just Wi-Fi and X at the start.
And you know, the songs on your page go back a couple years with the first ones, at least the first ones that are public, being like Soul Eater and Killing Floor. And
Hmm.
with your most recent one, with like Bad News and, those demo releases, and then a couple other
Hmm.
recent releases, how would you say that like your like methodology and approach to making music has changed since then, or if it's changed at all?
Oh, that's a really good one. Like that shit makes um when I started, I was really, 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 really into like writing every single thing. I was like, I have to write this. So I would just like whisper all the shit until I like got something I kind of liked, and I would just write it down. Then I was like, okay, I'm at time to record. And that shit was okay, but I realized I was like, I usually just write shit that wasn't me, in my opinion. But
Okay,
as I
so
got, oh sorry, good.
oh no, go ahead.
But as I've gotten like more and more used to recording nowadays, it's like I'll find a word I like, and I'm like, okay, I'll just play off this word. Then I'll just keep on freestyling, just saying a bunch of bullshit until I get something that just sounds nice. That's like my most fun, just freestyling a bunch.
So initially, you were writing stuff, and and somewhere along the way, it's like it's a lot more fun to just like come up with a foundation and then freestyle off of that.
Hmm.
I think that's really interesting because that seems to be a pretty commonly shared sentiment among a lot of like artists that I've talked to, where writing down like every single lyric just kind of isn't what works for a lot of people now.
It just, I don't know. It like when you're on the spot doing shit, and you force yourself to like really get like okay with writing, you'll end up being like using very like sometimes in my opinion like generic flows. There's people that don't do that, but for me personally, I'll end up just doing like the same shit every time I write and use the same flow. But when you're freestyling, you have to think on the spot, and sometimes you'll do shit you just don't normally do, and that just way better in my opinion. For me, it's kept me like being able to keep on making new shit I enjoy compared
Okay.
to like a very repetitive sound.
Yeah, and then of course, like a lot of your recent tracks have displayed this a lot more. But over the past couple months or so, you've really put a big focus on producing your own tracks. So how would you say that like doing a lot of self production has helped like the workflow, or maybe helped you improve your songs with being in full creative control of
Ooh.
every aspect of your music?
I feel like now that I have like pretty much full control of what my shit sounds like, it's definitely it's definitely helped with a lot more ideas. Like before, I'm like, okay, this is how this sounds. Like, there's really not much I can change about it. So, like, let me just keep on fucking around till I find a vocal tonality, something that just sounds good with it, right?
Hmm.
But if I don't like something now, I can just change that shit. I'd be like, ew, that shit yucky. Let me fix that real quick.
And then on the flip side of things, you've also worked very closely with collaborators and producers, like Rose and Adjacent, in order to like get a very specific sound with that person. So on the opposite end of self-production, what's it like working so closely with people at all times when making your songs, rather than just finding beats from anywhere you see them?
Okay, so when it comes to working with people, it's a very key and lock type of situation. Some people you just don't got the key with, you feel me?
Yeah.
But some other people, like, hell, there's some people you don't even have the key with. Like some, I would say me most times me and Rose will end up making a lot of shit we just don't use. But what makes us be able to just make so much shit together is the clear fact that he just does not give up. Like he'll keep on working with me from like 6 p.m. to like 2 a.m. until we get something that we like. Then AJ is like either you both if you're both on the same vibe, you can make something that you fucking love. But most of the times it'll be like, oh, he's on a different vibe, I'm on a different vibe. This shit is just not working. But when it does, it usually ends up being of like some shit I would normally make.
But then also, not even like just in terms of producers, but you've also kept a very close circle of collaborators, with Corpse Cartel and with the Digitized Globe project as well. How would you say that like the development of your music was impacted with keeping your, I guess, your circle of collaborators like very, very small and very tightly knit?
Oh, I think it impacted me in a huge way. I feel like if I didn't have, if like one person was not in that group of people I hang out with, I don't think I'd be making the music I'm making right now. Like, oh, sorry, I just started this shit.
Oh, you're good.
I'll like go down like a quick little line. Like with Mercy, he most definitely helped me get out of the like whispering shit. Like if I didn't have him, that I'd probably still be making like very super chill tracks. But it's like seeing how his music is so high energy and it's like almost feels like it's show ready. I was like, I need to do that. And then K stuff, it's like that man. I don't think there's ever been a hook by K stuff I disliked. Like he always comes up with something catchy. Rez is just like the final boss in a video game. You just want to beat. Rose, Rose, be like you just like damn. I don't know what to do. Rose comes out, and is like try this. You're like oh shit, you smart as fuck for this. AJ's creativity knows no bounds. Like that shit helps me like saying oh damn, I kind of stink. I need to get better at this.
So everybody like in their own way has had like an impact on a different area of like your music.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree.
Yeah, and so of course I would say that primarily you've focused on like dropping a lot of like really good consistent singles, but over the years you've had a pretty decent number of projects too with Dreaming City, Constellations, No Future, No Future for Us and stuff like that. So how would you say your mentality is like how does your mentality differ when maybe approaching the idea of making a project rather than a single?
Okay, so for singles, you're like, okay, this shit is like a one-off. Like nothing I say in here has to have a continuation. Nothing I'm doing here needs to like follow a set sound. Like you just go crazy, go stupid, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
For an EP or a project, I like to stay in a certain little area. Like I want to be there and I want to by the end of it, I want each song to have its own reason to exist while also being in a sound that's similar. And I also want to kind of give you a little story. Like I would say Constellations is kind of I did good with the sound. Like I kind of picked every sound I wanted, but story wise, I feel like there's some songs where I'm like, this could have been without it. Then No Future for Us, I love that fucking project, but I feel like I just wasn't the artist I am today, so I couldn't be able to, couldn't make exactly how I wanted. But the new EP, even though it's like super short, I feel like that's exactly what I wanted to do. It gave me the sound. You had like a little adventure. You have some songs that are hype. You get some songs that are straight mellow chill. And then you have a good little soft song. It's everything I wanted. So I would say the biggest difference from start is just if you're making a single, go stupid. If you're making an EP, give them a reason why they listen to the whole thing. Don't make them just come in there to pick and choose what they want. Because that's not really what I enjoy albums for or projects.
Well, it's like, if you didn't do that, then it would, I guess, just be just like it would just feel like a bunch of singles, I suppose.
It'd be just like a compilation project, and that's what I'm not making. Like I don't make projects for that.
So if like you said, so if a single, if that's like really, like that's the time to make something hard hitting, something that stands entirely on its own. And projects are maybe more for a coherent, overarching sound and style, and like maybe like story, whether it be direct or indirect. What would you say the process is in terms of like like let's say you're self-producing a song, so you're doing everything. What is it a very straightforward process, or is it kind of a back and forth between like vocals, then like back to the beat, then back to the mix, and like kind of repeat?
Usually, I'll try to find like first. It's always like you just got to start with the beat. There's no way around it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll make shit you're like, oh, I fucking love this. This is it. And then you try to record on, you're like, yo, I cannot do nothing on this. That's upsetting. So then it goes right back to the drawing board. Then sometimes you'll make something on and you're like, this shit stinks. So it's kind of just like, it's very beat, record, ew. Beat, record, ew. Beat, record. Finally, I have something.
Eventually, there's something that you can record on.
Yeah. So that's kind of the process. Mixing is kind of... It's everything. You got to do it on every song, but you don't want to do it every song. So that's like the only thing I can really put on that.
Yeah,
so that's why sometimes I'll just that's why sometimes I'll just be like, hey Rose, hey baby girl, I know this shit's already compressed and stuff, but you want to mix it for me, please?
Hey, I've done all the easy parts. Do you wanna hop on and do the parts that I don't want to do?
And he's like, bro, this is why don't you ever record this shit raw, you asshole?
Oh, do you not record raw? You record like with compression and stuff already on?
Nowadays, when I first started, nah.
What would you say the benefit of that is?
There's Uh, I would say the benefit for me is I'm able to hear and know what I'm about to make, right?
Hmm.
It gives a good idea and I can just adjust it later. But the definitely big con is once you have that shit sound like that and let's say you end up not liking it anymore. You ain't got nothing else to do. That shit kind of stunk. Or that shit's over, you feel me?
Yeah.
But most of the time I usually get what I like, so I'm not complaining.
Fair
Rose
enough.
definitely has a lot to say about it though.
Oh, Rose. So if I ask Rose the same question, it might be a bit of a different answer.
Oh, it might be a big different.
And I know that recently, you know, you met up with Quartz Cartel, and I saw the Motorola music video from AJ, so
Hmm.
I know y'all were together. But I know that you know, like, I know that Rez recently did, and I know that Mercy recently did. You know, some like live performances and stuff. Would you have any plans to do a live show if you haven't already?
Uh, mm, well, Reese, right now I'm talking to a couple people right now to see if I can get a couple of shows going on.
Mhm.
So there is definitely plans for it, just if those plans come in clutch, you feel me?
Yeah.
I really want to do shows as soon as possible because most of the music, in my opinion, I've been making is like I've been making it for that sole reason. Like King, I made that song just to play at shows.
Okay. Would you say that, like, you have, like, apart from King, because that kind of like goes into my next question, would you say that you have some songs that, like, you think are just maybe better suited or tailored to a live performance?
I would definitely say that because like I feel like let's put it in this way. People would I think people would like nostalgic because it's it's higher energy, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
But then you got shit like admit it or you're just too much. Who the fuck would want to listen to you're just too much in a show fashion? Who wants to listen to Bloodshot Eyes in a show fashion?
Okay, so maybe it's a little more focused on, like, matching the vibe of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know
like,
that.
that's
Oh, go ahead.
that, like it would definitely be for me. I would use shit like Nostalgic, Dog Days, King, Guilty Gear, Wish You Well. Like that's like what I would use for a show. Also, where the
Okay.
fuck is the boss?
Oh, it's over here. I can start it.
Okay, bet I'm coming.
All right, I got my health back up. Because I know that when I talked to Adjacent, he mentioned the same thing where when he said that I think he did a show like before Rez did or something, and he did one of his more chill songs, and like he could tell that like it just wasn't hitting the same as like maybe the more hard hitting songs.
Yeah, because I feel like people are going for an experience, and it's harder to like, even though like some people could like love those songs to death, the mass majority probably won't be feeling it. And maybe it's just not like some people just can't feel that same energy when they're around a group of people. But when you have like a hard hitting song, you're around a bunch of people, I feel like it's much easier to get into it because they're getting into it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Shit. Fuck.
It's all to the champion.
Well, now that I'm dead, I don't have to focus on playing and talking. I can just go. I can grill you while you're playing.
That ain't gonna stop me. I'm a demon at this game.
But so I know that earlier you mentioned that when it comes to your writing process, it's more of taking like foundational words or phrases and stuff like that, and then expanding upon them during freestyles and kind of feeling it out as you do it. But then also, some of your songs there's lots of like references to other things, like maybe woven into your wordplay or lyrics. So what would you say are some non-musical related influences that you find like bleeding a little bit into your music?
The most generic one is most definitely anime. Like, there's no doubt about that.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes I don't know if this counts, but there's sometimes where I'm really, really into like the idea of trying to make my shit like kind of like poetry, like spoken word,
Yeah.
but I don't want it to sound like that. So I try to like find ways to say something that's like, oh, that's kind of poetic, Or then there's sometimes where it's like you want to impress someone in your life where you're like, yeah, if they listen to this, I want them to get hyped. Like I know one of my biggest ones is like it goes back to anime, but it also kind of goes to like me and K stuff, right? there's times where I'm like, I want to be the first to say this. I don't want K-Swift to get it.
You
want to
beat him to it.
Like I have this one song, $1 billion bounty. It's on Digitized.
Yeah.
And the whole reason I made that song is just so I could say billion berry bounty before him, or use berries as a way to like say how much money I got.
So you knew that he was gonna beat you to it if you didn't do it first.
Yeah, and now he has a song where he says it after me.
Oh. So you were right. You played him. You had a good read.
Hey, fucking man. Guy had a little stupid ass. That's where the biggest amount of my wordplay comes from, just so I can hoe K stuff before he can.
So the entirety of your writing process in terms of wordplay and like references is just beating K stuff to the punch, so he can't reference what you're referencing.
Hey, yes, sir. Like, there's another song where I literally, I didn't realize I did it this much until you made me think about it. But I have this song where it's like supposed to be a continuation of my Underworld series that I've kind of privated, so only like older fans know about it. But there's one line where I say main bitch like Rue, just because I know he loves Rue or loves that whole show series, and he loves Zendaya.
That one was like a direct attack. You said I don't care too much about it, but I know he does.
Hey, yes, sir. I steal.
That's fucked up.
Hey, man, it is what it is.
But also, like, objectively funny, so I think that you should keep doing that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's definitely a big influence. And also, it's always music too. It's hard for me to not, because music is such a big life. If I'm not making it,
yeah,
I'm listening to albums like nonstop, or like listening to my friends like AJ. Oh fuck! It's okay if I break the rule with this one? Like, just say this is.
Oh no, do it. I mean, honestly, just talk about whatever you want.
Okay, so my biggest inspiration and influence when it comes to like wordplay and shit, too, besides like the whole case of shit that just be a dickhead, is Everything Silent. That is a top 10 project in my eyes. I listen to that project anytime I'm like, damn, I don't know what to make.
And so that's just like a big source of like influence and inspiration.
That project, if you haven't heard it, listen to it.
What about it makes you so drawn to it?
Wait, this is about to become a review on Everything Silent. Fuck the interview. Okay, so let's start. Number 1, the first track. Right? Let me. If I die, fuck it. Where's this song at? Okay, so the first track, Location. That hook, the way he came in on the flow, that verse, immaculate. Like, let me listen to where he gets to it. He says, "Where do we go? Where do we go?" To he has an Inuyasha reference right off the bat. And then his flow, he goes, like the LA Dodgers. Like, you're not ready for that flow. I wasn't ready for him to just stop. I thought he was gonna keep on going. Number 2, Chrome Hearts, one of the most influential songs in the underground. You can suck my dick if you disagree. That shit is when I heard "No, don't cry," all them times you're keeping me alive. Immaculate. Majesty, the melody on that song keeps me going. Move Silly, I love that song. Number 4. I'm not even giving like good reviews right now. I'm just still geeking to just how much I like the songs. But I would say just like Chrome Hearts, the vibe. Like, I'm pretty sure I might be wrong. Like, he can flame me for this. Location and Chrome Hearts, I think, used the same sample.
Oh really?
Gas. Majesty. It just the way he hit the beat. I wasn't expecting that. Ghost, intense. Surgery, one of his hardest hitting songs. Like, honestly, if you've not listened to it, it's a 10 out of 10.
All right, and you know, we've kind of talked about like those early influences, what got you started into music, and kind of what is the driving force behind your music now. This is a job interview-ass question, but where do you see yourself taking your music in like the near future, whether it be like, you know, within the year, in the next 5 years? Like, what are you hoping to get out of your music in the foreseeable future?
My shit about to be generic as fuck.
I mean, that was a generic fucking question, so like, in all honesty, it's fair game.
I think for me, and I think for like a lot of people that like genuinely care about music, you kind of just want to make something, even if it's just only one song, you want to make something that like lasts. You want, even if it's like one person. So like in 5 years, I hope I make at least maybe one project people always go back to and like, yeah, this shit was my childhood. I love that. Or fucking, even if not like I don't make a project myself, like at least work on something that has like has leeway into someone's life, as something that they like can look back to and have a fond memory about. Because fuck the 5 years, when I'm dead no one's gonna remember me, you know. So at least I want to have something in this world that someone can remember, even if it's not directly tied to me.
Okay.
That's what I want from music.
That was a really good answer, actually. That was wonderful. You could have said make a bag, and I would have been like, all right, cool. But nah, you brought that shit out.
That's what I want. It's all I crave in this music shit. The money don't lie. I'm not gonna lie, money do help you.
I mean, yeah, for sure, but it's not the main motivation behind it.
Mm-hmm. I like this character. I'm killing people.
I died.
Damn, the interviewer stinks.
God, I did have a question pertaining to like your current at the moment discography. I know that recently you released a short project of demos and unfinished songs, and then you've also unprivated a couple older songs. What would you say is the mentality behind like putting out music that like you like in your eyes is like in a demo form or not finished? Like what would you say is the mentality behind getting that out into the world?
Okay, the biggest reason for me dropping that demo tape is so there was a like this kind of leads before like the demo tape getting dropped and all that shit, but there was a time where I lost someone very close to me and I was like kind of just losing all inspiration, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that shit was just hard to make music. So what I was doing, I had like a whole project made, right? It had Nostalgic, Dog Days, Heart and Soul. It had like all my biggest songs, and I was gonna drop that project, but I ended up just not doing it because I was like, oh, I need to grow and all that shit. But after, you know, the loss of my close friend, I needed to find some way to be like, I wanted to feel good, you know, like as the most fucked up way as possible, right? So I was like, I have all these other songs. I miss interacting with people on SoundCloud like it used to be. So I would drop a song a day, and I loved seeing people comment. That shit had me geeked. It got my inspiration back. I was like, this is why I do this shit. Like, it's nice to see people say, hey, I love this. So when I had the demo tape, I had some other shit. Like, there's still some songs on there that are also from that project, like 7:30, Bad News, and the Underworld intro. Because originally the EP was gonna either be called Underworld 2, that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of lead back to the fact that I just wanted to interact with people again. And also some songs my friends liked a lot, and I wanted to kind of be like, here, don't bother me anymore. Take this.
Here, take it. If you leave me alone, I'll post it.
Yeah, take this shit. I don't want this.
Yeah, but you know, it's interesting that you mentioned that like the motivation from the responses and the interaction with like that community kind of helped you get back into a mindset where you felt more comfortable making music again. What would what would you say is like, I guess, what has like the impact of that kind of direct community been? Oh my god. Because here, you do this shit while I give you an incredibly hard question.
I got this.
You know, I would say a big difference between SoundCloud and other streaming services is SoundCloud has a very direct and immediate feedback and interaction system where there's comments, there's public and publicly visible likes and reposts and all this stuff like that. So how would you say, although maybe a less monetizable platform, how would you say that SoundCloud has helped you establish a sense of community and interaction with like people that listen to your music and like people whose music you enjoy?
The reason, like, SoundCloud is dog shit. Like, low key, we should not be supporting them. They pay the artists like ass.
Yeah.
The only thing they really got going for them is the fact that I'm dead. The only thing they really got going on is the fact that you can communicate with people. And it's usually some of the most genuine conversations you can have with people. Like, I've made some of the closest friends in my career through SoundCloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know, it's just so much more genuine. Usually people you get on Spotify, like, it's cool, but they're kind of like almost, it feels like ghost fans. Like, they're there for your music, not very much you as a person, unless you have been able to make something that hits them so strong that they are like, okay, I need to get out this, I need to see like what this guy's about, I want to learn more about him,
Yeah.
And it's harder to do that.
Yeah,
on
I think you get a
SoundCloud.
lot more of the artist's personality on SoundCloud.
For sure.
I mean, let's be honest here. If Spotify implemented, like, honestly, at the very least, just like comments and public likes.
That shit, I would honestly use it every fucking day of my life. That is honestly the biggest reason why I still even use SoundCloud.
Yeah, and I think SoundCloud is a really good starting ground for a lot of people because SoundCloud is one of the only streaming services there is where it kind of offers a place to upload non-monetized content. But I don't know. I just, oh my gosh, I don't know how you're alive right now.
Fight for my life. Fight for my fucking life.
But I really do think that if Spotify, like, literally, honestly, just comments. Like, if Spotify had, like, just comments, it'd be over.
Yeah, if it had comments, honestly, Spotify would be an unkillable website.
It kind of already is in a way.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, I don't, unless somehow Apple Music comes back from this 3-0 lead. Oh no. Holy, I fucking did that shit.
No. Oh, it's over.
Everybody on the interview, put W in chat. I did that for my parents. Oh my god, what the fuck am I
You know
doing?
what? At 40 minutes in, with me dead and you fighting all of the hard enemies in the game in this green hellscape, I think this is a good place to end it here. Mango, you've been a great guest. If you have anything you want to plug, now is the time to do it.
All right, this was Kid Mango. You watching Disney Channel? So first thing you finna do, go to my SoundCloud, put a follow on that one, okay? Then after that, go to my Spotify. Follow me on that. They don't fuck with me over there. And then listen to Dog Days until I hit 100K because I'm so close. Once I get 100K, I'm gonna open up my OnlyFans and start putting oil on my ass and twerking. So if you want to see that, get them follows up, get them streams up. Mwah.
Why is this the second interview I've done where the person at the end plugged their OnlyFans?
Because that's the new wave, Brody.
That's you and AJ both.
That's my twin in them. That's my evil twin for real. Wait. And last plug. I ain't trying to hype y'all up too much, but me and Adjacent 7 got a collab project coming out soon. Be looking out for that.
It's funny. I don't think I heard him mention that when I was interviewing him.
Yeah, he didn't mention it at all because he's a bitch and a bum.
I'm instigating this fight.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, another thing. Go under any of his songs and comment "you a bitch." Thank you. That is
Thank
all.
you so much.
You're welcome.
Tatted on my hands, I got plans. Baby, my time on demand, I can't stand. Waste another second, man. No, I can't. I don't think they understand the wastelands. Time slipping quicksand. I miss my friends. They'll never understand.